In the following example, we're asked to determine whether f composed of g of x equals x and whether g composed of f of x equals x. So what we're going to do is we're going to do two compositions. We're going to compose f made up of g. We're going to take f made up of g, and then we're going to take g made up of f. So we're going to go in two directions here. All right, so let's take a look at that and what that would look like. So if we say this one, f composed of g, and some students will say fog. Of course, it's f composed of g, f made up of g. Looks like this, f, and actually, let me erase that. It looks like this, f composed of g of x. So that's going to take your f, and it's going to plug in this g in here. So let's see here, we've got the fifth root of x to the fifth plus 12 minus 12. Okay, so I've plugged it in, and actually, when you think about it, there's no real need for these parentheses, so let's just get rid of them. All right, let's just get rid of them right there. All right, and then let's try to combine some like terms. So 12 and minus 12 cancels out, and then we have the fifth root of x to the fifth. Well, this is taking x to the fifth and raising it to the 1/5 power. And what ends up happening when you have a power raised to another power, you multiply. So 5 and 1/5 is actually 1. So we have in this case, what we're left with is just x. So the answer, does f composed of g of x equal x? And the answer here is yes, it is. Okay, now let's take a look at the very last step of this problem, and that is to find g composed of f of x. So g made up of f of x. All right, so let's see what that looks like. So we're going to take this g and we're going to plug in f right in here where we have x to the fifth power. So let's see here. We have, in this case, the fifth root of x minus 12 to the fifth power plus 12. Again, the same concept applies. When you raise a power to a power, you multiply. This is to the 1x minus 12 to the 1/5 power, raised to the fifth power, and you're left with, again, 1. So we end up with x minus 12 plus 12, and again, the 12s cancel out, leaving us with x. So the question again was, does g of f of x equal x? And the answer, of course, here is yes, it is. So we've answered this. All right, we've answered this, and this actually, implies something bigger. We won't get to it right now, but it's coming. It's coming. So we'll figure out what that means when two functions, when you compose them in two different ways, what exactly that means. So we'll leave that for another video for another time, but this is another example on composition of functions.